How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great and amazing, majestical video with your boy, the Savior. That's right, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, which is highly likely, go down below and subscribe. It takes just 2 seconds, and hit the like button, that would really help me. And if you are a returning sinner, please do consider becoming a member today for extra content, shoutouts for your channel. If you're new and you subscribe within the last week, I will give your channel a shout out, so make sure you do that. Cool. I love begging for subscribers. Today, my sinners, we're gonna keep it relaxed. We're gonna take it to a more personal level, and I just want to talk about why PlayStation 2 games were the best. Why PS2 games were the best games ever made. Why PS2 games are better than new games and better than modern day gaming. PS2 games were just so amazing and magical, and I know a lot of this is nostalgia. I'm aware of that, okay? I'm not a moron, okay? I mean, I may look like a goddamn idiot, but I'm not actually mentally handicapped, believe it or not. I know. Do you believe me? Video games made me claim benefits. Too many video games gave me crippling disabilities. So why do I think PS2 games were the best? You might be saying, Savior, that's crazy, okay? There are so many amazing new modern day games that just blow these old PlayStation 2 baby boy games out of the water, okay? And I can see from a technological point of view that modern day games are, superior, I guess you could say, but I still think that the PS2 genre of gaming, the PS2 days, okay, and I'm only talking about the PS2 here, not the PlayStation 1, although I did play a lot of PlayStation 1 before the PS2, like Spyro and all that kind of stuff, but PS2, in my opinion, was the best console generation of its time. In my opinion, I think the PS2 is the best gaming console to ever exist, and yeah, I know that might be a little bit, whoa, controversial. Whoa, Savior, you better be careful. Now let's begin with the obvious, okay? Now PS2 games aren't clearly known for their amazing graphical quality, okay? But back then, it was still pretty good. I mean, I never thought, wow, this was absolutely amazing. Not like when I first experienced like, whoa, this is realistic graphics. That was when the PlayStation 3 came out and I played Assassin's Creed for the first time. I remember the cutscenes were just so crazy, this was next level gaming graphics, okay? This really did feel like modern day real life. I mean, wow, whoa, he has a realistic skin and I can see all the little pores in his face, and wow, it's so magical. This is what gaming is about, right? Realistic graphics. That didn't really hit me until the PS3 with Assassin's Creed and a lot of other games like Uncharted and all that kind of stuff. But the PS2 didn't have to rely on super realistic graphics, and I don't think that's a bad thing. In fact, I think it's a good thing, and I think modern day games suffer now because of this, because all of these modern day AAA games have to be super realistic and super realistic looking. The aesthetic design of these games are all so similar that it gets very, very boring. You can clearly identify that this is goddamn Jak and Daxter, one of the most amazing platformer games ever made, okay? Well, maybe not ever made, Donkey Kong and, Mario, but it was still absolutely amazing as a collectathon, okay? Compare this game with one of my all-time favorites PS2 games. That's right, Star Wars Episode 3. I know, a movie game? Whoa! But you can clearly tell the difference in style with these games. Now, this wasn't trying to be super realistic, even though it's based from a movie. They still took the artistic, creative approach to make it unique and make it different and make it stand out, okay? That's my point, is there are so many different games with so many different unique styles, like Beyond Good and Evil, like Red Faction, like Simpsons Hit and Run, like Tomb Raider. They weren't all copy and pasted when it came to the artistic design. Gaming has become the norm, but back then it wasn't so saturated, okay? And that meant that even though these developers, it doesn't matter if they were small developers or big developers, they would always push the boundaries of what was possible. But with today, in the modern day gaming space, there seems to be a checklist of, you have to have this game open world, you have to have a mini-map, you have to have X-ray vision, you have to have blah blah blah, and all this boring crap that we don't want, but it's in the modern day gaming industry space because that's what everyone has gotten used to, and they think that's the key to success. Oh, you have to have a perk tree, you have to do this, you have to do that. You know, it's boring, okay? These older PS2 games would take risks with their design, with their aesthetics, and with their mechanics. For example, Star Wars here, I think was the best Star Wars game to ever exist. The amount of combos and combinations of different attacks that you could do, the lightsaber combat in this was the best thing ever, and you'd actually have to master it and remember the skills. There were no, hand-holdy mechanics. It was just a great Star Wars game because it took risks with its design. That's what made these older games so much more better. These PS2 games were just a lot better because it's not just nostalgia. The mechanics of all of these games, the aesthetic design, I mean Ratchet and Clank is goddamn amazing with its outlandish characters and with its amazing game mechanics, hopping from one planet to another. Most of these games, for example Ratchet and Clank, wouldn't just stick to the same old formula like you would get with most modern day games. For example, Far Cry, you know what a Far Cry game is going to be, but with Ratchet and Clank, one mission could be completely different from the next, and that's the thing with these older PS2 games. They would just take way more risks, and you could tell they had a much more creative passion behind them because it was always unique. You never knew what you were going to get. It was always a surprise. There were basically zero microtransactions back then. You could tell it was about the creative process of making a unique and interesting game for players to enjoy. It wasn't all about money, but now it seems it's all about maximizing profits. The other reason why the PS2 was the best, they also all had to actually run and work. I know that's crazy. Whoa, I mean that's absolute madness, but that should be the norm. When you buy a game, you would actually have to buy it physically, and it would actually have to be polished on release and functioning instead of all of this pre-alpha bullshit that we see, early access gaming, where they can just release an unfinished mess, or even a AAA publisher like Cyberpunk and be completely broken on arrival. I mean that's just a complete joke. The standards have completely fallen. Now we have set genres and they all seem to fit neatly into their boxes instead of expanding and exploring different genres and mixing them all up together. You do still get that with some modern day games that have completely changed the gaming industry forever, like Dark Souls and all that kind of stuff. In my opinion, this is when gaming was at its best and at its finest because it had the technology to really explore and expand, with its game design. It didn't need to be, all high-tech and, all about the pixel count and, wow, you can see all the hairs on Nathan Drake's chin. It was about exploring what you could do with all of these different mechanics and worlds. It wasn't about just graphics. It wasn't about formulaic game design. And I feel like it's all about following the trends these days. I just think that PS2 gaming was the best. And if you're feeling burnt out on modern day games, I highly suggest that you go back and play older games, because it doesn't matter about graphics or if they feel outdated, because this wasn't, hand-holdy back then. This wasn't for triggered little game journalists who can't even play games. This is for people who really, felt like you could actually explore and experience these games because it actually respected the player back then, and it didn't treat you like a little baby. I mean, there's so many reasons why PS2 games are better. I just wanted to make this video to talk about my feelings on the PS2 and why I'm so grateful for, being a gamer when the PlayStation 2 was released, because I think it was the best time for gaming. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.